Case file TR4291. Voicemail anomaly. Residential property. Single occupant. Marcus Delaney bought the house on Birchwood Lane because it was quiet. That was the selling point. After the divorce, after the office closed, after everything that used to make noise in his life went silent, he wanted a house where silence was the default. And for the first 3 months, it was. The landline came with the house. He almost didn't keep it, who still had a landline. But it was bundled into the utility package, and canceling felt like too much effort for too little reward. So it sat on the kitchen counter, a pale gray rectangle with a coiled cord gathering dust. The first voicemail arrived on a Tuesday. Marcus came home from the hardware store, saw the little red light blinking on the base, and pressed play without thinking. Day 14. He had the chicken again, the one with the paprika. He stood at the window for 20 minutes after eating, looking at nothing. The voice was flat. Not robotic, not exactly. Flat in the way a person's voice gets when they've stopped caring about inflection. The recording was 43 seconds long. The caller ID showed a number Marcus didn't recognize. 0008, 0008, 0000, 0. All zeros. He deleted it. Assumed it was a wrong number, a pocket dial, some automated system glitching on a defunct line. The second voicemail came 2 days later. Same number, same voice. Day 16. He cried in the shower again. He thinks the water hides it. It doesn't. Sound travels through pipes. I can hear everything through the pipes. Marcus stood in his kitchen, holding the phone base in both hands, reading the voicemail display like it might change if he stared hard enough. He called the number back. 3 short rings, then a tone. Not a voicemail greeting, not a disconnected message, just a sustained tone, like the sound a hearing test makes. He hung up after 10 seconds. The third voicemail came the next morning. Marcus hadn't even left for work yet. Day 17. He's reading this right now. He's standing in the kitchen. The phone is in both hands. His heart rate is elevated. I can hear it through the walls. Marcus dropped the phone. It hit the tile floor and the battery cover popped off. He stared at the base unit on the counter, the speaker still playing, the voice still talking. I can hear everything through the walls. He unplugged the landline, pulled the cord from the wall jack, then from the base. He set it in the hallway closet and shut the door. The voicemails kept coming. Not through the landline, through the pipes. The first one came through the bathroom faucet at 11:47 p.m. Marcus was brushing his teeth when the water pressure dropped to a trickle, and the voice emerged from somewhere inside the walls. Not from the faucet itself, but from the space behind the tiles, the hollow gap where the pipes ran. Day 19. He tried to disconnect me. He doesn't understand. I'm not calling from outside. Marcus turned off the faucet. The voice stopped. He backed out of the bathroom and stood in the hallway, toothbrush still in his mouth, foam dripping down his chin. Day 19. He tried to disconnect me. It was repeating, like a voicemail on loop. He called the police. They sent an officer who checked the walls, the crawl space, the attic. Found nothing. No wires that shouldn't be there. No gaps in the insulation. No signs of entry. The officer told Marcus to call a plumber, then a therapist, in that order. Marcus called a plumber. The plumber checked the pipes, ran pressure tests, found nothing unusual. The pipes were original to the house, copper, installed in the late 70s. No junction points that could carry audio, no devices attached. "You sure it's not the wind?" the plumber asked. "It's not the wind." The plumber left. The voicemails continued. They came through the heating vents on cold nights, through the floorboards when Marcus walked across the living room, through the electrical outlets when the house was quiet enough to hear. Day 22. He stopped eating. He's lost 4 pounds since the first message. I noticed these things. Day 24. He slept with the lights on. I can still see him. Light doesn't change anything. Day 26. He found the notebook. Marcus had found the notebook on day 25, actually. It was wedged behind the water heater in the utility closet. A narrow, leather-bound thing, its pages filled with handwriting that wasn't his. The entries were dated. They started on the day he moved in. Day 1. New occupant, male, approximate age 35. Divorced. Carries his left hand differently than his right. Old injury, not current pain. Day 3. He talks to himself when he cooks. Not conversation, more like fragments. He said her name twice while making pasta. Elena. Day 7. He hasn't unpacked the boxes in the second bedroom. They're marked Elena. He opens one every few days and looks at what's inside. Today, it was a scarf. He held it for 11 minutes. The notebook had 212 entries. Every one corresponded to a voicemail. Marcus brought the notebook to the police again. They took it as evidence, tested it for fingerprints. Found only Marcus's from handling it. No DNA on the leather. No DNA on the pages. The paper was manufactured in 1994. The same year the house was built. Day 29. He's reading this right now. He's sitting at the kitchen table. The notebook is open to page 47. The paper was manufactured in 1994. The same year the house was built. Day 29. He's reading this right now. He's sitting at the kitchen table. The notebook is open to page 47. He's holding a pen, but he hasn't written anything. Marcus looked up from the notebook. He was, in fact, sitting at the kitchen table. The notebook was open to page 47. He was holding a pen. I can see you through the spaces between the pages. He burned the notebook in the backyard fire pit. The flames were yellow-white, the paper curling into black shapes that looked like letters before they disintegrated. He stayed up until the last ember died. The next morning, the voicemail was waiting. Not through the pipes. Not through the vents. Through the foam base in the hallway closet, which he had unplugged and which had no power source. Day 30. You can't destroy a voicemail by burning paper. I'm not in the notebook. I'm in the walls. I've always been in the walls. The notebook was just how I talked to you when you were close enough to read. Marcus moved out on day 31. He left the phone, the furniture, the boxes marked Elena. He drove to a motel 3 towns over and slept with the television on for 4 nights. On the 5th night, the motel phone rang at 2:14 a.m. Marcus was awake. He'd been awake since check-in. He stared at the phone on the nightstand as it rang for the 9th time. He picked it up. "I can hear you through the pipes here too." Marcus hung up, checked out, drove until the gas tank was empty, then filled it and drove again. He slept in his car in a rest stop parking lot, the windows up, the engine off. No pipes, no vents, no walls. At 3 a.m., the car's radio turned on by itself. The display showed a frequency that didn't exist. Between stations, past the dial's range. The voice came through the speakers, low and clear. "I told you, I'm in the walls. Every wall, every building, every pipe, every wire. I've been here longer than you have. I'll be here longer than you will." Oh. "Who are you?" Marcus whispered. "I'm the voicemail. I'm the message. I'm the thing that was here before you moved in and will be here after you leave. I was here when the house was built. I'll be here when the house falls down." That doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be true. The radio turned off. The parking lot was silent. Somewhere in the distance, a truck rumbled down the highway. Marcus is currently living in a tent in a national forest. No walls, no pipes, no wiring. He reports that the voicemail stopped on the 2nd day. But last night, he heard something through the ground, a vibration, felt rather than heard, rising through the soil and the roots and the rocks beneath him. Not a voice, not words, just a pulse, like a phone ringing from very, very far away. He's considering digging down. The case remains open. Marcus Delaney has not returned to any permanent structure. He reports no further vocal anomalies while outdoors, but notes that the ground vibrations persist at irregular intervals, always between 2 and 4 a.m., always felt through his sleeping bag, always traveling from a single direction. Forensic analysis of the Birchwood Lane property revealed nothing unusual about the walls, pipes, or wiring. The house was demolished 3 months after Marcus's departure. The demolition crew reported that the walls were standard construction, drywall over studs, insulation, vapor barrier. No hidden compartments, no foreign materials. The foreman, however, noted one detail during teardown. The copper pipes in the bathroom wall were warm to the touch, despite the water heater having been disconnected for weeks. Not hot, warm, the temperature of a human body. The demolition crew refused to continue work that afternoon. The remaining structure was imploded the following week. The lot where the house stood is now vacant. Neighbors report that the grass grows differently there, thicker, greener, pattern that resembles the floor plan of the house when viewed from above. The bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom where the pipes ran. And sometimes, on quiet nights, the neighbors say, you can hear something from the vacant lot. Not a voice, not exactly. More like the sound a phone makes when someone is trying to leave a message. The tone before the beep, as if the ground itself is waiting to record. Case TR 4291 is classified as unsolved. No anomalous source identified. Do not relocate subject to enclosed structures.